Hey Internet, my name is Zibby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. Today is, to all the other episodes, a very special episode because today I want to build my rover idea. Well, I have already talked about this idea in the last episode. As I said, I want to build something like a rover transporter so that I can land a rover on the surface of a celestial body and dock it again to this rover lander and bring it to a different celestial body so that I can reuse my rover. And today I want to show with you or build with you together the rover lander. So don't be afraid, I won't show you or demonstrate you the whole building process. I just want to demonstrate you a little bit what I like to do, and then I will bring you back in as soon as we have some new things. Okay, or as soon as I have finished a step and I can demonstrate you what I have done so far. Okay, the basic idea is that I have something like a fuel tank and a robotic control unit. Then I like to, come on, 4 times maybe. I like to have something like these struts over here going in this way, maybe like this. At this point, at these struts, at these large girders I have unlocked in the last episode, I like to have these huge things. Well, let's say at first I want to have these huge things. Okay, so I have these huge things, and when I say I want to have them extended, I can estimate the height when the thing is extended. And so my basic idea now is I have, where do we have this? A docking port maybe. I like to have a docking port, and I like to have a docking product to this. And now it's time to add the rover. I'm not quite sure what is a good rover thing. Let's say I want to have this capsule as my rover, then I need to have maybe... This is just a basic concept, so maybe the thing will change a little bit over the development process. And then I have my rover body or something like this, and I need some utility. Yes, utility. I need to have some wheels to the rover. Let's say at first, okay, I have some wheels to the rover. And wait, isn't it possible to have the wheels somehow in a good position? Huh. Okay, anyways, okay, so we have a wheel to the rover. And yeah, now I have a rover, and my basic idea is I can land maybe with the landing legs extended. Then I can decouple the rover, I can rove around and drive through the girders here, through the landing struts, and when I'm finished I can drive through again, and then I will retract the landing gear so the thing lowers down and the docking port will attach to the rover, and we have finally the rover attached again to the transport vehicle, and then the transport vehicle can lift off again and take the rover with it and fly to a different destination. So this is basically my main idea. The biggest difficulty, I think, is to have enough space so that the rover can pass through. So maybe I have to build a very tiny rover, but on the other hand, if I build a very tiny rover, I have the issue of having enough space. So maybe I have to use the Clampertron Junior, so a much smaller Clampertron, maybe something like this. So all the things getting smaller, and yeah, in this way I like to build some kind of a rover transporter. And the next issue will be, then I need to maybe dock this thing to a travel stage, so we need to have something like this so that I can dock it to a travel stage. Travel stage like, I'm not sure. Let's add this on top and let's add an engine on top. Okay, now we have some kind of a travel stage so we can fly to a different location. And then this thing needs some engines, but this is not a problem. Okay, this will be basically my idea. So at first I need to build something like this, which can take off and land, and which can also somehow add and detach in the rover. And I hope I'm able to do this. And now I will start to build something like this. I have to build a rover. I have to build a little bit like the first part of my landing stage, and then I will bring you back in and show you the first functionality of this new rover transporter. So stay tuned while I'm building my things. Okay, welcome to the very first rover test, or the very first test of my mission idea. As you can see down here, I have created some kind of transport stage. I think it's a little bit underpowered for landing somewhere, but at least it's enough to have a short demonstration. Down here you can see there's the rover, and well, it's hard. Okay, can we? Well, it's hard to see, but there is a little bit of air under the rover wheels, so the rover is currently not touching the ground. And now I can say decouple node. Let's switch to the rover and start driving. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't run into the lander. Very carefully. Okay. So, okay, now we have deployed our rover. The rover can rove around. Don't flip over now, please. And then the rover can approach back the... Whoa, what was this? The launch pad and our transport stage. And now, very slowly. And as you can see here, the thing starts to get attracted to this, and now we are docked to the lander. So now we are again docked to it and attached to the lander. Let's check out if this thing works somehow. Let's enable the engine. Let's throttle up a bit. Okay, now the lander takes off, and now it should hopefully land again. No. Okay, stop the engine. Can we... Wait. No. What? Stop. Oh. Okay, retract the gear. Okay, I think we have... completely destroyed the rover. Rover debris. Yes. I think we have to improve a little bit our landing techniques, but at least you can see that. Okay, I think the landing strut is damaged as well, but at least you have seen that we can detach the rover. We can attach the rover again to the transport stage. And we can transport the rover from the launch pad over here, where we finally destroy the rover. But at least it's working, and I now have to improve it a little bit, and then we will have another test if everything is still working as intended. So stay tuned. Okay, the rover development makes some good progress, or better, the rover lander development makes good progress, because now I've added a bigger fuel tank to it, because I like to land the thing on the moon, and I even like to take off or lift off from the moon again and to enter stable orbit around the moon. And in this case, I think I need this bigger fuel tank. And also, I've thought a little bit about our very first payload. I think the very first payload will remain this little tiny rover here, because it's a good thing to test out the capability of our rover lander. And later on, if I will if I will have a manned rover, I can easily remove the structural component down there And yeah, and I have such a lot of more space down here to add a bigger rover that can drive and that can be attached to the lander. So I think this is a really good concept. And yeah, I've also added an, let me just decouple it at first. I have also added an SAS module to it because in the very first rover flight test or lander flight test, I've recognized that this thing is really hard to control, and I need good control abilities over my lander when I like to land the thing on the moon. So yeah, that's why I've added also the SAS module, so we are in better control, and this is what we want to test out right now, because I like to fly just whoa, what was this? I just like to fly a tiny little bit with my lander. Okay. Whoa, it's swinging around. This is interesting. And we have contact. Very good. So let's switch on SAS. And let's ignite the engines. And I will just like to hover just a tiny bit. So let's see. Can we come to a hover? Or can we at least take off? Okay. Now we are flying, but I like to hover. Okay, maybe like this, so we are hovering currently around. That's good. But what about flying a bit sideways? Flying on Kerbal isn't easy. Flying on Kerbal isn't an easy task. At least not if you want to test a rover. Okay, come on, don't be too fast, don't be too fast. Okay, we are a little bit in a sideways drift. Let's cut the engines. Okay, we bumped down, but I think everything is still in good shape. We can undock it. And yes, the rover is still moving. We can still rove around. Well, it was not such a long distance we have traveled so far, but at least it was working and it was good. Whoa. Okay, the rover is doing some breakdance. Whee. Okay, let's use this little tiny way here and drive back to our lander. And then I like to test something completely different and completely insane, which will cause a lot of explosions, I think. We will see. So at first let's attach the rover again to it. Let's attach the rover to it. Okay, this is problematic. Come on, jump up. Okay, it seems that we are not able to attach the rover again. Okay, this thing is a little bit, it has some issues. Can I... Huh. I don't know how I did this, but I managed to capture the rover. Okay. So I like to take off again. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we're able to do this, because I like to bring the rover up on the VAB and not to crash it into the VAB. Let's see. At least we are aiming for the VAB. Oh, whoa. No, in which direction do I need to go? I need to go in... No. First we need to recover the thing. I need to go in the completely different way. Yeah, like this. I should have added some parachutes to it. Okay. Everything is in good shape. Everything is in good shape. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. There's the note. Okay. No. Where is the thing? Okay. Oh crap, we are running out of fuel. We are running out of fuel. Okay. It's now a question of survival. We are very low on fuel. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This was not a good idea, but at least we have demonstrated a little bit of our capabilities. And yeah, the next thing is I like to test with the thing if I can even launch the thing on a rocket. So next up, a rocket test launch. Stay tuned. Okay, I've now added a just tiny little, or not so tiny, but I just added a booster to my rover and flipped the rover around so that the rover transporter around. So at first I need to control from here, so that the rover isn't the thing which is where the booster is attached to, and the rover is completely free. And so I hope this thing will still work. And I've added also some parachutes so we can land the thing back on the Kerbal Space Center and see if we are able to land the thing as well. So at first, let's do a quick test launch in 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Okay, I think we are able to launch this. I think the booster is a little bit underpowered, but at least I think the thing is in good shape to be also launched. It seems not to be very wobbly. Let's see if I do something like some minor controls. Then the thing seems to be stable, so I think we are in good shape to launch the whole thing. This is pretty good. This is really good so far. So, okay, let's see that we can bring this thing a little bit up to altitude. And see what else we can do with it. But in general, I think it's a pretty good idea that we can, or it's looking very good that we can launch this. Yeah, I think I just need to add a bigger booster to it, so that we can even reach orbit, and then I can hopefully aim for the moon and land on the moon. So this is really, really cool. Yeah, I think this thing is in good shape. It seems to be quite stable, so I think I can launch this. Let's cut the engine here and deploy it. No. Let's switch back to the rover. I need to flip the whole thing around. Oh, crap. Don't run the rover into the booster. Okay, we are now we're falling together, but luckily I have the parachutes, so I think I should deploy the parachutes. Let's do this. Let's switch off SAS. Okay, we are a little bit fast with the full tank. So I think I should start burning a little bit to lower our speed, or the parachutes will rip my spacecraft apart when they fully deploy. So let's help a little bit with our engines to slow down the rover. And there goes the booster. Something seems to be survived. Okay, they are fully deployed now. We are quite fast, but this is okay because we have a lot of fuel still in there. And let's see, has something survived from our... No, I think the booster is completely disintegrated as it crashed into the surface. But luckily our rover transporter seems to be really in good shape. So I think the thing is good to go to be launched up into space, and I should really start developing or adding some launch boosters to it so we can propel the thing into space and fly up to the moon with it. And now let's start our engines for a gently landing, exactly like this. Okay, very good. Okay, now I've added my bigger booster stage I've assembled and I'm currently using as a sub-assembly. I haven't built any new launch stage with the orange fuel tanks, so in this case I will just reuse the old one, and I think it's good enough to send the thing into orbit. So let's do the very first launch of our rover transporter up into space and later on up to the moon. And 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Okay, here we go. Here goes our freshly developed rover up into space, hopefully. We have done a lot of tests with it. We have done some lander tests, if the transporter is okay, if the transporter does an amazing job. We have done a short launch test, but in this case, during the launch test, the thing wasn't as wobbly as it is here. I'm thinking or hoping I have enough fuel in this thing, so I can even fly up to the moon with it. Well, we will see if we are able to do this. I don't completely forget to add some more fuel to it, but on the other hand, if I see how wobbly it is, maybe it's good that I don't have added much more fuel to it, and yeah, we have to deal with it as we have to do when we are up in space. Yeah. I'm excited because it's the very first time that I'm now launching a rover in my career mode, and it's just a test rover, as I explained to you during this building process we've done so far, that I will just test out my lander if I'm able to land something and bring it back from the moon, and if I'm able to do so, then I can even develop a bigger rover. But currently, as I said, I'm not quite sure what should I launch with it, because it's the same issue as with the satellites or the space stations or anything like this. As long as you don't have really a good way to create some signs, it's pretty complicated. And additionally, even if I have my moon base and like say I don't want to have science but I just want to explore or so on, driving around with a rover is one thing. This is really difficult, or not really difficult, but I think it's just a little bit annoying to do so, because often you're running into troubles when you're driving on a celestial body with low gravity and you're just coming across a tiny bump. Then maybe a rover flip over or takes or lifts off and flies around, and then it crashes or rolls over or flips over. So in general, I did some rover missions previously, but all the time I wasn't really happy with it because it was more afraid with the rover that it's not flipping over, or sometimes when the rover was running down some hills or so, it was hard to stop it, and then it accelerated and what was this? What was this? Holy crap. Yeah. Why was this thing so bendy and bended around? Okay, but I think we are still in good shape. I think everything is still running and in order. Let's see what we have done so far. Yeah, where was I? So, it was a little bit annoying sometimes to drive around with the rover. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure for what reason I really should build a rover mission. And so you can only drive very slowly, because if you're driving too fast, as I said, you will lift off and fly around, and on landing your rover will flip over or be damaged, or you can't brake the rover, or it will crash. So there are so many problems I've encountered with rovers in the past that I really am more interested in the challenge of having a transporter available, with I can launch rovers and transport rovers and bring rovers to different destinations, as having a rover to drive around. Because, as I said, the rover missions I've done so far weren't really satisfying, and in this case I think it's much better to how much fuel do I have left? I have one complete full fuel tank. Maybe I'm not quite sure, because of the space debris issue. But at first you want to bring this thing into orbit, and then I can think about what I will do with it. So, time warp and stop here. And like here. Now let's throttle up and get rid of this maneuver node. So yeah, I think for me it's more the challenge of having something built that is capable of transporting a rover. And what is this orbit here? The orbit, what are you? Dress Research Probe. Oh, the Dress Research Probe upper stage is still in orbit around Kerbin. I think we should fix this and should lower its orbit so that it crashes into the ocean. Okay, how much fuel is now left in this thing? Still a lot of fuel. I think I can even use it to bring myself up to the moon. So I think I won't detach it right now. 100 by 92, 95, 97, 103 by 97, 104, 98. I think this is good enough. We are now in orbit, but I will fly up to the moon, not today, because, well, how much? Oh, still a lot of fuel left here. So I think I can definitely fly with this launch stage up to the moon. This is really good. And then I have to make sure that I crash the thing into the moon or so, as it is disintegrating on the lunar surface. Okay, so we have a rover, at least in space or in orbit around Kerbin. And to wrap this episode up, I like to at first I like to quick save, and then I like to switch over to the Dress Research Probe upper stage. Let's see. We are well zoomed out again, so let's zoom in. It has some electric charge. And it has an eclipse. We can see an eclipse. This is beautiful. Wow, this is great. Seeing an eclipse. Okay, so we need to go out to this position up here. I will switch off SES because I don't have any solar panels on the thing, and I need to save my electric charge. So let's enjoy oh, it's gone. It's finished. Okay, but this was really beautiful to see as eclipse. And let's stop here. Very good. Okay, and now the task is to enable SAS again, to lower our periapsis, and it's gone, and it will crash into the Kerbin. This is good. And we still have some fuel left, so I think I even could have used a little bit more of its fuel for my for my research Dress Research Probe. So what do we have? We have there's the research probe, the Dress Research Probe is going on. Our Lunar lander is still in orbit and hopefully landed. What is this? Oh yeah, the dress thing needs to go out until here or so, where it can do the correction burn. Our series is on good way, and wait, let me just think about this. I think the Eve launch window will come up pretty soon. I'm not sure if the Eve launch window comes before our Moho probe needs its correction burn, but I think I have to prepare also a Eve mission, well, not a Eve landing mission, or just a mission up to Eve with some science instruments. And when I launch this, I'm not quite sure what comes first. If the Moho probe comes first with its correction burn, then I can decide whether I want to send something up to Eve or not. And if the Eve launch window comes before the Moho research probe correction burn thingy, then I have to launch our manned mission up to Eve anyway, just in case that I'm able to fly up to Eve and to enter a stable orbit around Eve with my Moho probe to collect the science out of it. So a lot of exciting things are still ahead of us. And with this beautiful view back to Kerbal, let's watch it this way. I think down there is Kerbal Space Center. There should be Kerbal Space Center. This is amazing. With this beautiful view, let's switch off the instruments. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do the usual YouTube stuff like liking, commenting and subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope I see you again in the next episode when we fly up to the moon with our rover lander, and to try out if we are able to transport our rover up to the moon and again up into space around the moon. So until next time, thank you for watching again. My name is Debbie. See you!